Ladies and gentlemen, my wonderful investors, thank you so much for keeping on this journey. We are on a journey to buy real estate in the United States, multiply our wealth, and eventually get an EB-5 visa into the United States, all for the glory of God. My name is Pastor Joyce Beck, and today's video is going to be very amazing. It's a video about applying for your EIN, Employer Identification Number, for the LLC that we have created. Real quick, before we jump right in, let me introduce some very important people in my life. Meet my husband, Phil Beck. He loves samosas and masala chai. So if you give those to him, you'll have made his day. Also, my beautiful and wonderful gifts that God has blessed us with wisdom and favor. We believe that God is taking them far and there will be movers and shakers in their generation. And finally, meet our pastor, our shepherd, our spiritual cover, our mentor, our advisor, and our supporter. His name is Pastor Clint Ross, and we always really thank God that He has brought such a pillar into our lives, such a foundation, and we know that as long as we are under His cover, we are safe. Thank you, Daddy. So we have reached the point where we are applying for an EIN, which is the Employer Identification Number. And an EIN is just basically a number that uniquely identifies your entity. It's just for purposes of tax identification. All right. So for our purposes, so the form is SS4. If you just Google it in Google, it will pop up and you can fill it out. So don't fill this part out. The IRS are going to fill this out with the EIN once they process the form. And the form is pretty straightforward, as you shall see. So name of entity, for those of us who followed from the previous video when we created an LLC entirely online, use your LLC name right here. If you have doing business as like a different trade name, you can add it online too. This mailing address is what the IRS are going to send a letter to this mailing address that has your EIN on it. So make sure you spell it out correctly, clearly, and legibly. The county and state where the principal business is located. So for those of us who filled out the online process of creating an LLC, the county and the state in which we register that LLC, these are what we're going to put right here. This block 8 is pretty much straightforward. Is the application for a limited liability company? The answer is yes. And then if the answer is yes, please enter the number of LLC members, one, because right now it's just single member owned LLC. Again, if the answer is yes, was the LLC organized in the United States? The answer is yes. So 9A, type of entity, check only one box. But caution, if the 8A is yes, see the instructions on what correct box to check. The instructions are down here, and we go straight to the one that says single member LLC. And we are going to put these particular words, foreign owned US disregarded entity, in the checkbox called other. I'll repeat that. Foreign owned US disregarded entity in the checkbox other. So we'll go back to block 9A. You click other and you put the foreign owned US disregarded entity right there. So closing month of accounting year, December, unless you want to do it in a different month, which unless you're a tax expert, I think December would be the most standard one. So for the single member LLC, you complete lines 1 to 18 as applicable. So it's as applicable. So you don't have to fill something if it's not applicable. So whenever we reach all the way to the bottom, line 18, as the applicant, excuse me. So the principal business, we're going to put maybe real estate, because in our case it's real estate. The principal line of merchandise sold, we can put the tax lien deeds, tax lien and tax deed, real estate. And then has the applicant entity shown on line 1 ever applied and received an EIN? It's no in our case. And if yes, you put an EIN there, the previous EIN that they ever gave you. because EINs do expire. So third party is, you don't have to fill this. Uh, Complete this section only if you want to authorize the named individual to receive the entity's EIN and answer questions about this completed form. So this will come in handy in the next step, because now we're going to talk about, after filling in the form, where are we going to take it? Then you clearly print and title yourself here, so you can put your name, like my name is Joyce Beck, and then I put CEO of my LLC. So you can do the same right there. Signature, you sign, and date. Right. So applicant's telephone number, remember the telephone number that we got whenever we were signing up for the LLC, you put it right there. Applicant's fax number, we're going to talk about the fax number here shortly. So once we finish all this, it's time to send out this form to the IRS. Instructions, how to apply. So apply for EIN online if you have legal residence, principal place of business, or principal office or agency in the US, or US possessions. Then you can receive an EIN online. So this is basically for people who have ITINs and who have social security numbers. If you have no legal residence, principal place of business, or principal office in the US, you can't use the online application. Please use the following other methods. So method number one for the international applicants, the first one is by telephone, and it says here very clearly, option available to international applicants only. And the number to call is this particular one, and note that it is not a toll-free number. Remember the time, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. So the person making the call must be authorized to receive the EIN and answer questions concerning the Form SS4. Pardon me. This is what we talked about here, right at the bottom. This person, if you have a designated person, then this is the person who is going to make this call and receive the EIN on phone. The next one is by fax. So under the fax ITIN program, you can receive your EIN by fax within 4 business days. So whenever you call, you will receive it like as soon as you get off the phone. Whenever you apply by fax, you will receive your EIN after 4 business days. So please note, there's some things maybe I should say about the telephone. Because the IRS is a very big organization, prepare to have a very long wait time if you decide to use the option of calling. Prepare to have a very long wait time, and also prepare, because it's a long distance call, maybe the person might not be able to hear you very well, and especially bear in mind the difference in accent. So prepare to be very patient when you're on the phone. Prepare, for example, if you're spelling your name, if my name is Beck, I would say B as in boy, E as in elephant. Prepare for such kind of eventualities. So take your time. That's what I'm trying to say. So if this might not be a viable option for you, you can just decide to fax in the application, wait for 4 business days, and receive the fax back. So, and this is where we also talked about the applicant's fax number. So you have to put your fax number there, including of the area code, so that you can receive your fax back if you decide to use fax as an option to submit your EIN. So the other option is mail, and you can wait for at least 4 to 5 weeks before you receive back a letter from the IRS, where to file or fax. So if you are within the United States, which does not apply to us, there's a fax there, and there's a place there that you can send your application. This is what applies to us. Those who are outside of the United States, if you are to mail it, there's an address right here where you shall mail it to. If you are to fax it and you are within the US, maybe you came to visit or whatever, and you happen to be in the US, you'll use this fax number. But for those of us who are not in the US and we are international applicants, this is the fax number that we are to use. So I would just like to mention something small about, in the instructions, they talk about you can send in your application by fax or you can call in. But it is of importance to note that calling and faxing internationally sometimes can be very expensive. So I'd like to give a few suggestions of how you can go about this cost a little bit more cost effectively. So in terms of calling, the best suggestion I can give is the voice over internet protocol VoIP kind of calls. And the first one that I would like to remind all of us is the phone number that we received whenever we were applying for the LLC. That's a voice over internet protocol phone line. So if you use that number, it's going to be free to call because you'll be effectively calling within the United States. Another one is this one. So Google Voice. I have not tried it personally, but apparently there's a Google Voice. If you go to your Google and then you go all the way to the bottom, there's this icon called Voice, and it can help you. If you need some help with it, you can scroll down with the help, and it can give you the steps of how to set it up and how to call. And whenever you're calling within the United States with these Google calls, it's absolutely free. So you can try that if you want to use the phone option. If those would not be good for you, just Google any other voice over internet protocol service. Like for example, there's one called Text Now. That's an app that you can download in your Android, and you can use that to call internationally. So it will behave as if it's a US phone number. So you can call the IRS. It will be considered a domestic call. So if you want to use the fax, uh, so you can Google online what are the fax options that are there. So for me, the cheapest ones that I found are this one. One is called eFax. It has so this plan is not free, but it has a 30-day free trial. After the free trial, the plan is $16.95 per month. It expires after 30 days. But during that time, you can send 150 pages and receive 150 pages. So during the free trial, you can sign up. During the free trial, send your fax of your EIN application, receive the response, and then cancel. But there's a caveat. There's a $10 connection fee. So in real sense, it's $10 for those 30 days. And then afterward, it's going to be $16. So this other one is called Fax Plus. This one is $6.99 per month. Okay, it has different suites, whichever one that you want to try, but this is the one that would work for us. It has 200 free pages per month, and it is $6.99 per month. But if you want to pay it annually, it's 83, which doesn't make sense. So this $6.99. So and then you can email to fax, you can receive fax. You get one fax number. So I would also recommend this one because this one effectively is $10 and this one is like $7. So those are the options that you can try. You can also Google and see whether you can get others that have like offers and things like that so that they can help in the quest to get your EIN. There you have it, my wonderful investors. Thank you for sticking out this far with me. We have just finished applying for our EINs. Here soon, the IRS is going to give us our EINs. We are going to open our bank accounts and start transacting in the United States from abroad. I would like to encourage all of you, keep listening, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep applying the information that you find here, and you will see yourself advancing from one level to another. And as always, see you at the top, and bye bye.